Michael Biehn gets off a bus in Los Angeles as Kyle Reese, a soldier from the future sent back to save humanity. 1986. He's Corporal Hicks, leading a squad of colonial marines against xenomorphs on LV-426. 1989. He's a Navy SEAL diving to the bottom of the ocean in the abyss. 1993. He's Johnny Ringo, the most dangerous gunslinger in Tombstone. Staring down Wyatt Earp. 4 iconic roles, 4 massive movies, all in less than a decade. Michael Biehn wasn't just working in the 80s and early 90s. He was everywhere. He was James Cameron's go-to guy. He was the action hero who could actually act.
Got 9 crates in the forward hold!
He was one role away from being a household name. Then the 90s ended, and Hollywood just forgot about him. No scandal, no controversy, no public flameout. He just disappeared. One day he's in theaters. The next day, he's doing direct-to-video movies nobody's ever heard of. This is the story of how Hollywood's most reliable action star became invisible. The Cameron Connection, picture this: early 1980s, Los Angeles. Michael Biehn is a working actor grinding through auditions. He's done some TV, Hill Street Blues, The Fan with Lauren Bacall, small roles, nothing that breaks through. He's 27 years old and wondering if this career is actually going to happen. Then he auditions for a low-budget sci-fi thriller about a killer robot from the future. The role is Kyle Reese.
We did it, Kyle. We got it.
A soldier sent back in time to protect Sarah Connor. The director is a guy named James Cameron, who's only directed one movie before, Piranha 2. Not exactly prestigious. But Biehn reads the script and sees something. This isn't just another cheap action movie. There's an actual character here. Depth, desperation. Kyle Reese isn't a hero. He's a traumatized soldier on a suicide mission trying to save the woman he's been in love with from a photograph. Biehn gets it. He nails the audition. Cameron casts him. The Terminator shoots fast and cheap in 1983. Arnold Schwarzenegger is the villain. Linda Hamilton is Sarah Connor. And Michael Biehn is the emotional core of the entire film. He plays Kyle Reese with intensity, vulnerability, and exhaustion. When the movie came out in October 1984, it's a phenomenon. Critics love it, audiences love it, and Michael Biehn gets noticed. James Cameron remembers. 2 years later, Cameron is directing Aliens, the sequel to Ridley Scott's masterpiece. He needs a strong male lead, someone who can hold their own against Sigourney Weaver, someone who feels real, grounded, not a cartoon action hero. He is called Michael Biehn. The role is Corporal Dwayne Hicks, a space marine dealing with an alien infestation. Biehn plays him calm, competent, the steady hand in absolute chaos. Aliens came out in 1986, and it's massive. Critics call it better than the original. It makes $180 million worldwide. And once again, Michael Biehn is in the middle of a cultural phenomenon. Cameron casts him a third time in The Abyss. 3 collaborations with the hottest director in Hollywood. That's not luck. That's Cameron seeing something in Biehn that works. Trust, authenticity, the ability to ground fantastical stories in real human emotion. Michael Biehn isn't the biggest star. He's not Arnold, but he's Cameron's guy. And in the late 80s, that means everything. The peak. By the late 80s, Michael Biehn is in demand. He's not a household name like Schwarzenegger or Stallone, but he's working constantly. Studios see him as a reliable leading man for mid-budget action films, the kind of actor who can carry a movie without demanding $20 million. He's the thinking person's action hero. In 1990, he starred in Navy SEALs alongside Charlie Sheen. It's a big studio action movie about elite military operations. The budget is $60 million. The marketing is everywhere. Biehn plays the team leader with the same grounded intensity he brought to Cameron's films. The movie makes $84 million worldwide. Not a blockbuster, but solid. The kind of success that keeps you employed. That same year, he's in The Seventh Sign with Demi Moore, a supernatural thriller about the apocalypse. He plays her husband trying to protect their unborn child as biblical prophecies come true. It's a departure from action. Biehn shows he can do drama, carry emotional weight beyond shooting aliens. Critics notice he's got range. Then comes 1993 and Tombstone. Michael Biehn plays Johnny Ringo, the psychotic gunslinger who's the real threat in the story. He's got maybe 15 minutes of screen time, but every second is electric. The showdown with Doc Holliday in Latin, the cold-blooded killings.
Come on.
The casual menace, its career best work. People remember Johnny Ringo decades later. Hollywood is paying attention. Scripts are coming in. He's getting offers for lead roles in action franchises. Producers want him for their military thrillers, their sci-fi projects. Michael Biehn is 37 years old and positioned perfectly for the next phase. The character actor who becomes a leading man in his late 30s. It's happened before. It should happen for him. But there's a problem forming that nobody sees yet. The industry is changing. The types of action movies that made Biehn's career are starting to disappear. The mid-budget adult thriller is dying. Studios want either massive blockbusters or cheap exploitation. The middle ground is vanishing. And Michael Biehn lives in that middle ground, the slow fade. The warning signs started in 1991. James Cameron is making Terminator 2, Judgment Day. It's the biggest movie of his career. The budget is over $100 million, and Michael Biehn should be in it. Kyle Reese could appear in flashbacks, in Sarah Connor's dreams. Cameron shoots scenes with Biehn. They're in the can. They're filmed. Then Cameron cuts them. Every single scene with Michael Biehn ends up on the cutting room floor. The official reason is pacing. The movie is too long. Something has to go. But the message is clear. Biehn isn't essential anymore. Cameron has moved on. He's got Arnold and Linda Hamilton and a new kid actor in Edward Furlong. Michael Biehn is the past. That should have been the wake-up call. But Biehn keeps working. The roles keep coming, just smaller. The budgets keep dropping. In 1996, he's in The Rock with Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage. It's a massive Michael Bay action movie. $75 million budget, summer blockbuster. But Biehn's role is tiny. He's a Navy SEAL commander who dies in the first act. He's barely in the movie. The 90s action landscape is brutal. Younger actors are taking over. The Rock is becoming a star. Vin Diesel is coming. Matt Damon will redefine action heroes with Bourne. And these guys are in their 20s and 30s. Michael Biehn is pushing 40. Hollywood has always been ageist, but the 90s made it worse. The quality of scripts coming to Biehn changes. They're not studio pictures anymore. They're independent productions, straight-to-video action movies that shoot in Eastern Europe with microscopic budgets. The kind of movies that go straight to Blockbuster's action section and disappear. Biehn needs to work. He's got bills. He takes the roles. By 1998, Michael Biehn was doing films like The Ride and Heat Seeker, movies you've never heard of, movies that played in 3 theaters and went to video in a month. The descent is happening fast. 1 year, you're in a James Cameron movie. 5 years later, you're shooting in Romania for scale. That's how quickly Hollywood forgets you. The wilderness years, the 2000s, are brutal for Michael Biehn. He's working constantly, but nobody's watching. Direct-to-video action movies that shoot in 2 weeks with budgets under $1 million. The titles blur together. Megiddo, The Omega Code 2, Agent Red, Chains of Command. If you recognize any of these titles, you're in a very small minority. These movies have a formula. Biehn plays a military commander, a government agent, a tough guy with a past. The scripts are generic. The action is cheap. The other actors are unknowns or washed-up 80s stars doing the same grind. It's assembly line filmmaking. Show up, hit your marks, collect your check, move on. There's no art here, just survival. The money isn't good either. These productions pay scale, or slightly above. Biehn is making a fraction of what he earned in the 90s, but he keeps working because that's what actors do. You take the jobs that come. You don't turn down work because you're holding out for James Cameron to call again. Cameron isn't calling. Occasionally, there's a reminder of what was. In 2004, Biehn did an episode of the Magnificent Seven TV series. In 2005, he's in Hawaii for a guest spot. Small TV roles that pay the bills. But these aren't leading man parts. These are, hey, remember that guy from Aliens? Casting. Nostalgia works. Pity work. The cult following keeps him afloat. Sci-fi conventions want him. Fans of the Terminator and Aliens still love him. He does the convention circuit, signs autographs, take photos, tells stories about working with Cameron. It's honest work. It pays, but it's also an admission. You do conventions when your career is over. Active movie stars don't need convention money. Friends in the industry try to help. Kurt Russell gets him a small role in The Art of War 3. Rodriguez casts him in Planet Terror and Grindhouse. These are favors. People who remember when Biehn was the guy. They throw him work when they can, but they're not giving him leads. They're giving him 2 scenes and a paycheck. That tells you everything. What went wrong? So what happened? Why did Hollywood forget Michael Biehn? Start with the obvious. He wasn't a leading man type in the traditional sense. He didn't have the jaw of Arnold or the charisma of Tom Cruise. He was the supporting player who elevated every scene. Hollywood loves those guys, but it doesn't build franchises around them. Biehn's best roles were as part of ensembles. Kyle Reese worked because of Linda Hamilton. Hicks worked because of Sigourney Weaver. Johnny Ringo worked because of Val Kilmer's Doc Holliday. When you put Biehn alone as the solo lead, something was missing. Not talent, not ability, just that indefinable star quality that makes audiences show up. He was great, but he wasn't a draw. The timing was wrong too. Biehn peaked in the 80s when mid-budget action movies thrived. By the 90s, those movies were dying. Studios wanted $100 million blockbusters or $5 million indies. The $20 to $30 million action thriller that was Biehn's bread and butter disappeared. He was the right actor for a genre that stopped existing. James Cameron, moving on, destroyed him. 3 Cameron movies made Biehn's career. When Cameron stopped casting him, the industry noticed. If Cameron doesn't want him, why should we? Directors are tastemakers in Hollywood. When a major director abandons an actor, others follow. Biehn needed Cameron to keep believing in him. Cameron found other actors. He also didn't have a franchise. Arnold had Terminator. Stallone had Rocky and Rambo. Harrison Ford had Indiana Jones. These franchises gave actors leverage, kept them relevant between projects. Biehn's best movies were one-offs. He never had that signature role he could return to every few years. Without a franchise, you're disposable. The business side matters too. Biehn wasn't a politician. He didn't schmooze with executives. He didn't play the Hollywood game. He just wanted to act. That's admirable, but it's also career suicide. The actors who last are the ones who network, who build relationships, who make themselves indispensable. Biehn did the work and went home. Hollywood forgot him because he didn't remind them he existed. The legacy question. Here's the weird thing about Michael Biehn's career. He's simultaneously forgotten and immortal. Ask a random person under 30 who Michael Biehn is, and they'll have no idea. Show them a clip of Kyle Reese or Corporal Hicks, and they'll recognize the character instantly. His roles outlived his fame. The cult following is real. Sci-fi fans revere him. The Terminator and Aliens are sacred texts in genre cinema. Biehn is part of that legacy forever. His name comes up in documentaries, retrospectives, anniversary screenings. People who love those movies love Michael Biehn. They just don't watch his other work. Modern actors cite him as an influence. Oscar Isaac has mentioned Biehn's grounded approach to sci-fi. Joel Edgerton studied his physicality. Directors like Denis Villeneuve and Alex Garland grew up watching his performances. Biehn's style, that intense vulnerability, influenced a generation of actors. They just got the careers he never did. He's still working. At 68, Biehn appears in small indie films, low-budget westerns, the occasional TV guest spot. He directed a movie called The Victim in 2011. He writes, he stays creative, but it's not a comeback, it's a graceful exit. He's making peace with what the career became, instead of what it could have been. The convention circuit treats him like royalty. Fans line up for hours to meet him. They bring Aliens posters and Terminator memorabilia. They tell him how much those roles meant. Biehn is gracious, present, and genuinely appreciative. He understands his place in film history. He's not bitter. That's rare in Hollywood, but there's a melancholy to it. Biehn should have been bigger. In a fairer industry, his talent would have sustained a longer prime. He should have gotten more chances with major directors, more leading roles in good films. Instead, he got 30 direct-to-video movies nobody watched and 2 iconic performances everyone remembers. That's the character actor curse. Your best work is someone else's movie. Michael Biehn was everywhere. Then he wasn't. That's Hollywood. If this story resonated with you, hit that subscribe button. Comment below with the forgotten actor I should cover next. Thanks for reading.